What's up, guys? Andrew Puccio here. Getting my toes wet.
Hey, what's going on? My name's Andrew, you can call me Pooch, and I'd like to welcome you to the Let's Only channel. Today, we're out of the little studio, out of it, taking in that cold, crisp Memphis air, out here with Dalton, who's gonna be our model again today, because we're doing another photo video. And all I really want to do is just help you take better fall photos, like right now. I'm really glad you're here. Let's dive into it. What did you say? A Dove hoodie? Dove hoodie, man.
Yes, it is.
This is Jeff Staple, baby.
Jeff Staple, who's that?
He's a designer. Look. That hoodie is a pigeon. Come on, man.
You're telling me a Dove doesn't look like that, though?
No, a Dove is white. Today we're busting out the X100V again to test out a new recipe I found on my favorite Fuji recipe resource, FujiXweekly.com. This thing is like wild. I've only seen it like through my viewfinder, but I believe it's gonna make some really dope fall photo vibes. You know, I'm talking bright, warm oranges, muted yellows, the saturated greens, a little bit more on the yellow side. Just the fall vibe. And before any of my non-Fuji shooters get sad and feel like this video isn't for you, don't worry, I have the R5 with me as well. It's what Dalton's holding right now. And we're gonna snap some photos with that, and we're gonna show you some post-processing stuff that'll help you get those dreamy fall photo vibes as well. Like I said, we got Dalton out here helping shoot and be the model. So, you know, really can't do any of these things without him. So a big shout out to him. Make sure you go follow him on Instagram, Killer Portrait Photographer. I'm gonna put up the recipe right now, and we're actually just gonna go ahead and dive right in. First things first, we've gotta get Dalton in this fog, because it's killer. All right, Fuji recipe time. We're getting creative with the shots here. So far, I'm really digging what I'm getting out of here, except I will say, I am a little nervous because everything is really orange, like really orange, and I was shooting a few things, especially out there in the fog, and it kind of felt like it was like sepia, which I'm not super into. So I'm hoping that it won't come out too bad in post, and if I need to, I might do some minor adjustments. But I'm talking like maybe like highlights and shadow adjustment, nothing too crazy, you know, tone curve stuff. All right. A couple more with these, and then we're gonna switch over to the R5 and get some photos so that we can create the fall vibes all around. Clearly we're having too much fun out here. Everything's been going good so far. We got just maybe 10 more minutes of photos before we wrap it up. The tricky part about Memphis, we were talking about this earlier, is that everywhere else the leaves have changed color. Here, everything is actually like naturally green. So nothing really does change until like early to mid-November. So we gotta fake it till we make it. One more thing to note as well is that for any of the photos taken on the R5, we're shooting everything in like a raw color profile. So that way we can really push everything and get the colors that we want. I can't really put these recipes on a raw photo. I mean, I could in Lightroom, but I don't think it's gonna do what I want it to do. So I'm gonna do my best to recreate the look I got with my Fuji with the Canon photos. And Dalton's captured a couple photos, right? Yeah, he's got photos.
The thumbnail.
Oh, he got the thumbnail. So maybe we'll use that one as the picture.
Ugh.
Bro, thanks for helping out today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it turned out really great.
I think so too. Got some bangers.
Got some bangers, bro.
Got some non-bangers.
Got a ton of non-bangers. That's just the way it goes though, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
Still gotta like and subscribe no matter how good they are.
This guy gets it, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Good luck. Peace.
Okay, we're trying this again for like the millionth time. There's a lot of love and care that goes into these YouTube videos. Don't get me wrong, but probably one of the jankiest things I do is, you can probably actually hear it. I sit on a ladder, a little step stool that I use And that's just what works for me, but it is kind of janky. Got these little like puffs going on here. Much better. And last thing to note for this video is we are trying out a new microphone. This is actually the second take that I've done because the first one I taped it to my chest thinking that was a clever idea, but it just sounded muffled in the hoodie. So yeah, we're always learning and there's always room for improvement. We're sitting on ladders over here, so what are we expecting? So in reality, I really don't know a better way to spend a morning than going around snapping photos and putting my camera and myself to the test. I really did enjoy this recipe. Fuji X Weekly really hasn't like let me down yet, especially when it comes to iterating on kind of my perceived notions of how a camera should work. Coming from Canon, I really had no room in my mind for how a Fuji recipe could take someone like me who shoots only in RAW and wants to do all of the post-processing myself to someone who then shoots JPEGs and really lets the camera do most of the work for me. So what we're gonna do now is that I know you already saw some of the photos that I snapped on the shoot, but I didn't share all of them with you. We shot in about 3 different locations within that park, and I really wanted to show off how this camera would handle different lighting environments. So we're gonna do that now, and then at the very end, we're gonna review a raw photo that we took with the Canon R5, and I'm gonna bring you through very lightly how I edited it to kind of make it have the fall feel. As I said earlier, every photo on the Fuji was a JPEG photo. I shot it in JPEG and exported it from the camera to this video as a JPEG. Now just keep in mind, I did do some minor adjustments on these photos, but I wanna make sure you know I didn't adjust any of the colors. Really what I did was just raise some shadows here and help some things pop to make these photos more viable as like photos if I were to be sharing them on social media or to a client. These first photos in the fog were the ones that I was most nervous about when it came to that sepia look. I was worried that they would just look too stylized, but as you can see, I really actually feel like they kind of came out this really cool vintage warm style. It was pretty hazy within the fog, which also stylized the photo for me. Moving on to the bright and sunnier spots, I was thinking that it kind of gives like, I don't know, bountiful harvest vibes, and that's a very weird thing to say, but ultimately it just kind of feels like Thanksgiving, I don't know, just a warm fall vibe. And then as we moved into the forest, obviously things changed pretty drastically. Light coverage was like non-existent and all of the lush greens really brought out different hues. So when I look at the recipe in comparison to what it has been, it actually behaved more standard to me. It felt like a very standard picture profile. All in all, I will say that these are giving me better fall photos, and I definitely think that you could push these photos even further with more intentional edits. All right, now for my non-Fuji family. Let's go ahead and look at this raw photo. This is what we're actually gonna use for the thumbnail for this video. So if you click through because of this photo, give me a thumbs up down in the comments. Looking at this raw photo, obviously things are very flat. The color is very flat, the picture is very flat, and so it's my job to bring it to life. Now I did kind of go crazy with the edit here, and I don't wanna dive into all of those details. If that sounds like something you might wanna know about or like watch and see, let me know, and maybe I can do a follow-up video to this. But for today's video, I just want to focus on the main areas that I think made this a better fall photo. First and foremost, we've got to talk about the color mixer, specifically how I handled the greens. In the summertime, things are lush, greens are vibrant, but in the fall, things are dying, they're decaying. And so it's important to bring that lush green color down to more of a yellowish hue, even into the orange. I also like to desaturate it and also kind of bring the luminance down unless the photo needs to feel a little bit brighter. This to me helps bring us into the fall season. After that, what I focused on was the reds, the oranges, and the yellows. These are my earthy tones. These colors also contribute to giving us that fall feel. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that for me, my skin tone also falls within the red, the orange, and the yellow areas on the color wheel. So if I manipulated it too much, I could start to look really weird. So be mindful of that when you're editing your photos. So a few adjustments here and there, and we're able to bring this photo from looking like this to this. So first things first, Fuji fam, go use that recipe. And seriously, if you use the recipe, I wanna see it. So tag me in the photos on your social media, at me, whatever you wanna do. I wanna comment on them, I wanna see them. I think they're gonna look pretty dope. And for all you non-Fuji users out there, you know what to do. Same thing, get to it, you've got this. And so with that, I really hope that this helped you out. I really do believe this is gonna help you take better fall photos and be in the mindset for crafting that perfect vibe. As always, thank you for being here. You help me feel a hell of a lot less lonely. If you wanna feel less lonely in your creative journey, then I'd recommend dropping a like, leaving a comment, and then ultimately subscribing so that we can be creative together and feel less lonely. It's funny, like, you know, I'm doing this fall video and we have a month until December, and that's technically winter. What do winter vibes look like? We need to do a video on that too, don't we? Photos for the seasons. All right, peace.